All right, let's talk about a situation that is pretty much a universal nightmare. What happens when your heating or your cooling system just gives up on you, right at the worst possible time? We've all been there, or at least we've all dreaded it. So let's get into a survival guide for exactly that.
I want you to just picture this for a second. It is scorching hot outside. The sun is just beating down. And then all of a sudden, nothing. Silence. That familiar hum of your AC is just gone. And that silence is replaced with this sinking feeling in your stomach. Yeah, that's a full-on emergency.
So how does this even happen? In this explainer, we're going to dissect this very common disaster. We're going to use a real-world example from a place with a really harsh climate to see what's actually going on, how you can spot the warning signs, and, most importantly, how to make the right call when things go sideways. So our story starts in a place where HVAC systems are pushed to their absolute breaking point. We're talking about the California desert, which, believe it or not, is the perfect real-world lab to see how these systems fail under pressure. And look, this isn't just some hypothetical. As our source material puts it, this is the cold, hard reality for so many people. It really hammers home just how urgent things get when the one system you rely on for comfort and even for safety just suddenly quits. So what's the real cause here? Before a single part ever breaks, your system is fighting this invisible, relentless war against the world outside. The climate itself is often the biggest villain. Let's take a look at how that battle actually plays out. Okay, what's so fascinating here is that it's like your system is fighting a war on two fronts. In the summer, you've got that blistering heat, making the AC run nonstop for months. Then, bam, winter hits. Freezing nights put a completely different kind of stress on a furnace that's just been sitting there unused. And of course, it decides to fail right when you need it most. And this really shows you the specific attackers. It's not just the heat. You've got these wild temperature swings that are constantly stressing out all the components. You have fine desert dust that gets in and clogs everything up. A lot of homes have old, leaky ductwork that's just wasting energy. And even the low humidity can dry out critical parts, causing leaks. And if you need just one number to really get the impact of that dust, here it is, 30%. Just a thin layer of dust on your system's evaporator coils can tank its efficiency by up to 30%. That means it's working harder, it's costing you way more money, and it's dying a lot faster, all because of a little dust. Okay, so we know the environment is basically the bad guy, attacking your system from the outside. But what does that look like on the inside? How does that translate into problems you can actually see and hear for yourself? Let's get into the warning signs. These are the classic red flags. If your EC is just blowing warm air, that's kind of obvious. But some of the other signs are sneakier, like your energy bills slowly creeping up, or a system that keeps turning on and off every few minutes. That's called short cycling. And hey, if you ever see ice forming on the unit, that's a major sign something is very, very wrong. And here's how you can connect the dots between those symptoms and the actual mechanical problems. An AC that just runs and never shuts off. It could be too small for your house, or maybe it's leaking refrigerant. A compressor that kind of hums but just won't start up, that's often a failed capacitor, which is a super common and pretty straightforward fix if you catch it. So, your system is failing. The technician gives you a repair quote, and now you have to face the big, expensive question. Do you repair the thing again? Or is it finally time to just replace it? Well, our source actually gives us a really handy little tool to help you make that call. I mean, this is the ultimate dilemma, right? Every homeowner with an older system faces this. Pouring more and more money into a dying unit can feel like you're just throwing it away. But a full replacement, well, that's a huge investment. So how on earth do you choose? Well, here's a really simple rule of thumb that can help. It's not a perfect law, but it is a fantastic guideline. All you do is take the age of your unit in years and multiply it by the cost of the repair. If that number comes out to be more than $5,000, you should probably start seriously thinking about a replacement. Let's just run through the math together. It's really easy. Say your system is 12 years old and it needs a $500 repair. Okay, so 12 times 500, that's $6,000. Since that's over the $5,000 mark, the rule suggests this repair might not be the best investment. You're probably better off putting that cash towards a brand new, much more efficient system. Okay, so whether you decide to repair or replace, you're going to need a professional. But here's the thing, not all service is the same. Let's talk about what separates a real quality job from just a quick fix that's going to fail on you again next summer.
A professional process should be simple and totally transparent. It starts with clear communication. You know exactly when they're coming. Then you get a clear explanation of the problem and a price before they even pick up a tool. No surprises. And finally, they do the work and they test it to make sure the problem is actually fixed.
And this right here, this is so important because these are the details that really matter. A pro isn't just going to guess what size unit you need. They'll do something called a manual J-load calculation. It's basically a deep engineering analysis to find the perfect size for your specific house. They'll also follow all the local energy codes and pull the right permits. And that's not just about red tape. It's about making sure your system is safe, efficient, and installed correctly so it will last.
So that really brings us to our last thought for the day. After seeing everything that can go wrong, it's worth asking yourself this question. Is your own HVAC system just surviving each season, or is it actually thriving? Being proactive and making smart decisions can be the difference between comfort and, well, catastrophe.